Hello and welcome to another episode of 3 Foot Good. I'm Daren.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Rich.
And on this episode, I have to go stand in the corner and wear the dunce cap. So we're going to talk about Adepticon. And I have failed the 3 Foot Good fan base, all like 5 of them that are out there. Because after all of the videos we made about prepping for a tournament, I forgot a unit at home. I show up morning of and I freak out because now I no longer have enough clone troopers. Not only that, I'm missing an entire squad of clone troopers. So I'm thinking, well, I guess I'm playing with a huge bid now that's not on my list that still doesn't count. And luckily, there was someone that allowed me to borrow their minis. So I was able to play with the squad. But yeah, so all of that prepping, and when I got back, they were sitting right next to where because they were magnetized, I thought, to my tray, because I magnetized everything, put the tray in, we're good to go. Well, no, they were right next to where the tray was, so when I counted everything, they were good. I just picked up the tray, put it in my car, shut the door, didn't really look again until the morning of, and I'm missing a squad because they were sitting on the table. So,
Well,
so for the last chance qualifier, it started off really shaky for me. I was not in a good mental place for the first game. So, but it was fun. Adepticon is over.
yeah, Adepticon is over. We had a great time, an amazing time.
And they've already announced next year's dates. So get ready for next year.
Yeah, and we will. We'll absolutely be there.
We'll be there again.
I went, in the last chance qualifier, I went 1 and 2.
And I went 2 and 1. So none of us went to 3-0 to get you the guaranteed spot in 2 worlds.
Doggone it.
Right, but because of some shenanigans that went on, there were actually going to be some 2 and 1s that got to go to worlds. So we'll kind of touch on that a little later, because we did not fill. There was only 114 and 128 in the tournament day of that showed up, and LJ said he was not going to not fill worlds. They were going to fill worlds, so worlds was full the next day. So we'll go over our games a little bit, and then we'll kind of get into that. And
Briefly.
then
it's not going to be a...
Darren will sit down, and I'm going to go on a tirade that all of the guys up in Chicago that I was with when this happened all heard it, and they're probably chuckling now because they're like, oh, we can't wait for him to talk about this. And I said, well, maybe I'll be calmed down by the time we record, and I am a little bit, but I'm still not. So I'll start because I had the screw up. I had an amazing opponent, Jeremy Hansen, for my first game at the Last Chance Qualifier. He was running a list that was called Save a Walker, Hide a Cad Bane. And so his Empire list was 2 ATSTs, Cad Bane. He had General Weiss as his field commander, and then a smattering of snow troopers and regular stormtroopers. So it was just a regular Empire force, not Blizzard, no Darks, none of that. And he allows me, we settle on breakthrough. And so I was like, well, he only has 7 activations and I have 8. So I can just avoid him and win. And then he didn't move his ATSTs out of his deployment zone at all. So I was able to actually win that one. We called it, we went 3-2. His Cad Bane could probably have double moved. He got into my deployment zone on the last turn. And I had 3 unit leaders that were hiding around his ATST, so his other ATST couldn't shoot me. And he couldn't kill all of them. So it was good. Jeremy was a really cool opponent. He was from Wisconsin, and I actually introduced him to the Wampa Squadron guys up in Madison because he lives like an hour and a half south of Madison.
So
and
you can get some games in with those guys.
And he didn't really have a big community. Like there was only like 3 or 4 guys that he got to play with. So when Jay walked around, I was like, hey Jay, I was like, where's this place at? I mean, because he told me the name and I have forgotten. Since then, he was like, "Oh, that's like an hour."
Clone troopers,
right? Exactly, just like the clone troopers. So I got the big first W starting in to get that on my march to 3-0. So that was kind of a relief. I wanted to win 1 game. The goal was to win 2, but if I did not win 1, I was going to feel very upset with myself that I couldn't win a game. So that was done out of the way. Pressure was off. So how was your round 1?
Great. Matthew Beatty, 501st Anakin. I had all the guys that I played were awesome. There were no problems. I ended up getting beat. I don't remember all the specifics, and I was a bad boy, and I didn't actually look them up because they have them in there. I can look.
We
them
could,
all up.
right? But we didn't really.
But
prep.
yeah.
I was gonna prep, and I completely forgot.
So sorry, but you don't want to hear play-by-plays for all the games.
On turn 1, I did this.
You could probably do it. I can't.
Right.
I can't do it.
I guess
Jameson.
The cool thing I did was that with the ATSTs, I just ignored them. They got hit with the third beam in my air support turn because there was nothing else to hit. Yeah. That was it. And I did a wound to it. So.
Yeah. What I did learn through the tournaments is that the OB ISP, twin ISP with beams, not quite enough.
It's just not there.
Not there. With 8 activations, like when you get with something with key positions, I was running out of guys to get to the positions and all that kind of stuff. And
there's this other cool commander coming for us.
There is
4 vehicles that might
might
help you out with that.
I've already got a list. In fact, it's sitting right here. There's an ATRT Cody. So I'm now that Cody's coming out and
his cards is fully spoiled.
His cards are spoiled. So now I'm going to start prepping and working on Cody, proxying Cody for some of his stuff. So I've got an ATRT Cody list. There is a ISP Cody list because I don't know. I just can't leave him alone. Although they're not.
He's gonna make him work. He's gonna make it be the meta.
I don't know if that's gonna happen. But and then I hear Barks Cody is probably a pretty cool idea. So I'm gonna give that a shot. But yeah, so Matthew got me on the first game. My second game was Josh Chung. He was running Vader plus Bid was the name the list, and it was Moisture Wraps. And I was just telling Tyler, I was like, we got him tapped, and I thought about pulling back and doing that because I was a red player, but I was like, it's no fun.
And I said, you're at the last chance qualifier.
I know.
You play to win.
Yeah, you play to win. And he had me beat on points at the very end. Unfortunately, he went one more turn with Vader, so the Vader's dual activation. Implacable. And he went ahead and attacked with Vader. He didn't have to. So Vader and Obi, basically it came down to this. Vader and Obi are base-to-base contact. And
Kenobi has a dodge.
And Kenobi has a dodge. And
everybody knows how this is going to go.
Yeah, everybody knows how this is going to go. And so Vader used his implacable attack, attacked Obi. I spent the dodge, got rid of one of those, and then I rolled 2 surges and took Vader's last 2 wounds off and ended up killing Vader, which then took my points over and ended up winning that way, which really sucked for Josh because he had me beat. He'd even done the points, and then we were at dinner and one of the guys goes, I think there was only like a 3% chance of that happening. So, and even me, and like I told him, even me, if the roles reversed, I probably would have done the same thing,
right.
To try and get more points at the tournament and all that. I probably would have done the same thing. I probably would have went for it too. So you can't.
How many ones was Obi on?
I think 2 would have got him. I think 1 or 2 would have got him. So I probably would have done the same thing, for that. But I guess Obi had the high ground again,
right?
In the end there.
Yes. You just killed him again.
Yeah. It was dumb luck. He had me beat.
So my round 2, I go up against a Ryan Bishop. He was playing, his force name was Blizzard Force, and as the name implies, he was playing Blizzard Force. Standard Blizzard Force had the HRUs, had the 4 bikes, had Op Vader. So the first turn went mostly his way. Ryan was a great opponent, and my dice got hot in the later end of the game, and he did not really get salty. He did make the comment that he's like, you seem nice. He's like, so I can't get angry at you. And I'm like, well, thank you. He did his beam attack thing, which was just atrocious, and killed 2 clones out of 2 units. He's like, well, I hit you with all 4. And I'm like, well, I rolled average. I'm like, I rolled 2 saves. But that was 2 of my clones out, and that's ouch. That's way ouch. So we started, and I'm like, well, I just got to push forward. We were doing breakthrough again, and I just pretty much, my Wookiees, I don't think missed. I believe 1 die that I can think of came up blank after re-rolls or whatnot. Otherwise, everything was paint for them, and he just could not survive firepower like that. He still had a chance, in my opinion. He called it, I believe it was top of 4. I had killed off 2 of his bikes, but he still had 2 bikes. And when I killed off his HRU unit, he was like, this is done now. I can maybe get my 2 bikes in, and that's it. So he conceded on that. I didn't want to beat it into the ground. Again, I'm much there to have fun. I'm not there to win worlds because I play Republic. So, but it was fun. He was a great opponent, and my dice were just stupid hot. Vader goes in, and he takes. And this is the starting of the dice. Where here was I did, I think 8 wounds into Vader, and he rolls 7 blocks, and I'm just like, all right, this is how this day is gonna go. I do 7 wounds with my full Wookiee squad going in. He blanks 5 of them on the next turn. So I was just like, oh, Vader's down to like 1 wound now. I'm like, okay, we can do this. All right. And that's exactly what happened. I called me captain. He Vader mighted to try and get stuff out. It didn't matter. It just, when Vader dropped, I could tell he was like, okay, this game's over. And I was doing the math, and I was like, there's not really a way I can lose this now unless I just roll all blanks. So, but he was a great opponent. I felt bad for him, but again, I mean, he brought Blizzard, and it was, oh my gosh, Blizzard was horrible. And it was like I had to start straddling barricades because I'm like, well, these bikes are gonna be on this side of me, so if I put 2 of my guys on this side of the barricade and 2 of them on this side of the barricade, I get heavy cover because he can't get around that then. But yeah, it was. Whew. And then my third opponent, so 2-0. Going into round 3, and I get picked. I get paired with Nick from up in the Wampa Squadron. So haven't played him yet. He came down to our tournament last year. So I'm like, all right. And he's running Drive-By. Dark Drive-By was the name of his list. And he had 2 Dark Troopers, Gideon, and a Gav tank. And then a smattering of other trooper units in there to make his core. And oh my God, that was atrocious.
I know. I played Dark Troopers the first time in my 3rd game. There was only 1 unit of them, but Gideon's kind of a pain in the ass.
He is, and I got hostage, and I have not lost with Rex on hostage until this game. So like he let me keep it, and he never played against Rex. And I was like, Dan never played. He's like, no, Dan runs Obi-Wan. I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna scouting party and then bring my hostage a speed 2 move directly towards me. He didn't know that could happen. He's like, oh. So I was like, all right, I got him off this game. I just got to get this guy in and around and just hide him from the Dark Troopers. Well, that's easier said than done. So yeah, that didn't happen. I ended up killing one of the Dark Trooper squads by, I want to say, the top of turn 2. Like the top of turn 2 is when I finished off the squad. But he had a second one. And he realized how much damage my Wookiees were doing to him with that awesome Impact Pierce that's built into their bowcaster, and everything just concentrated on them. And when you have Blast, you can't hide them behind heavy cover or use the smoke grenades to give them extra cover because they have Blast. So yeah, that's what happened. So that ended on, and it was quick, but I think we made it to turn 5, turn 6, and it was, he grabbed my hostage, and then he did his "you have something I want" card, teleported to the corner. I had one hostage. I picked up his hostage and was able to get it into mine, but it didn't. I didn't get it into mine, so I had the 1 point and he had 2. So he won 2-1. And he wiped out everything but a Wookiee leader that had 2 wounds left on him and like 3 guys left in my RSP squad. So
my 3rd game, looking back at it, I made a mistake after turn 0 and deployment, putting out objectives. I got greedy because, as Dan says, fire support is a drug.
Yes, it is.
But
man, it can be good against Dark Troopers.
Yeah, with so knowing so he had Dark Troopers and he had Death Troopers. Yeah, so knowing that, when I put my key position out, I put it out so when I occupied it, I would be able to be in range and fire support with that unit. However, everybody else was also in range of them, and he had more in range of them, and he was able to shoot them apart every time I got him up there. Which was, had I moved them back here, they would have been useless the whole game, but it makes it easier to keep that.
But you keep the objective.
You keep the objective, but I'm losing one valuable unit to us. So either way, that was probably wrong on my part. Dark Troopers are tough, but You can't put him down. Gideon's a pain in the ass.
He was.
I was able to put him down, but I didn't have enough. I lost too much and didn't have enough.
And once again, I never even touched the heavy in the list because one, it's a Gav and it's got a lot of wounds and red saves. But the Dark Troopers are what's annihilating me.
Kyle Kruger was my opponent, and his list name was "The Dark Side Has Cookie."
Nice.
Yeah, which is kind of a cool name. Yeah. So that was.
So you ended up 1 and 2.
I ended up 1 and 2.
I ended up 2 and 1, but my only loss was to a 3 and 0er. So I ranked number 24 out of 118. They then said, "Hey, we're going to put on standby right now if you're in the top 30. If you're 3 and 0, you're guaranteed in. So you guys are playing for certain. We get everything loaded. If you are ranked 30 and up, come here tomorrow morning and you're on standby. We're going to fill the tournament with you." Next morning, shows up. I show up early. I get there. I'm sitting there for a while. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, they're not going to announce this until like it's time to go. Daren was gracious enough to lend me his RSP squad. So at least then I had a semi-same color schemed Phase 1 squad in there. So I had my guys in the car. I'm like, I'm going to go get them now because if they announce this, it might just be announce it, time to go, here are your tables. So I went out and I grabbed my stuff, brought it in, and I'm talking with the other 2 and 1 guys. We're all there talking, and I am the 8th 2 and 1 that's in there. And so we're talking, and they said, okay, 2 and 1 guys, we need you to register, but then you're just going to go over to the standby area, and we'll talk to you before we do the big thing. So they come up and they show, and they say, okay, we're going to need 3 of you guys. I'm like, all right. So the 3, they had their list. They counted the 3. But because, hey, you guys showed up and you were here to play, they actually gave everyone that was on standby the participation packets.
Which is cool.
Which is cool. Which Daren actually got one the night before, too, because we helped stuff them. And so since we added in on the line, they didn't give me a second one. They're like, we already got one, but we'll give you something else. So come back here and look at this. And I actually got the Boba Fett box. That's the foam container. So it's a cool box. So then we're getting
Price
ready.
support was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, pretty good. Yep.
So we're mulling about to get the participation, and they're like, "Oh wait, no, that's not right. We need a 4th one," because somebody else had canceled their flight, didn't get in on time, whatever it was, and so then 4 of them got to go. Well, I asked what I was, and I was number 6 of the 2 and 1s. Well, that doesn't make any sense though, and so now we're going to get into my tirade. So if you don't want to hear my tirade, Daren's going to sit back. They had 2 people play in the last chance qualifier that were already had invites to the main event. Now, they very specifically asked you not to sign up if you already had an event because they wanted to keep the last chance qualifier for the people that hadn't qualified yet. Normally, this wouldn't be a big deal to me because we didn't fill it day of. Day of, there was only 118, or whatever, 114 out of 128. So, not a big deal. What really got me going was that during my round 2 against Ryan, the table, we were on an end. The table next to us had one of the guys that had an invite. And his opponent was like, I didn't think you were supposed to be playing if you had an invite. Oh, I got it okay because I don't have time to practice this list, which I call bullshit. Because they had quite a few open tables that you could have played all day that day, open gaming on Legion. And not our fault that you couldn't get practice games in when they specifically asked you, if you have an invite, don't play. Okay, he got in. It's fine. Again, they didn't fill it. He didn't steal anybody's spot, per se. Though I do believe there was a wait list originally for the last chance qualifier, and so maybe one of those people didn't show up because they didn't get in, and then because they took the ticket. Whatever. It's the fact that during the conversation he was having with his opponent, and how his opponent was way more upset because, again, he's playing someone that already has a ticket. He's like, well, what happens if you get in? He's like, oh, I'll just lose my last game. So he's already saying he's going to throw his last game, which is bullshit. Because not only then are you screwing out your first opponent and your second opponent, because if those 2 guys, you're your only loss, and they've already said they were taking 2 and 1s, they need you to win your 3rd game so it helps their strength of schedule. Now, I know this guy went and talked with the tournament organizer, and they went and talked and they hashed it out. And again, not really anything they could do because
they didn't forbid it.
They didn't forbid it. They said, hey, we ask you not to do this.
They didn't forbid it.
They didn't forbid it.
Yeah.
I believe that might get changed next year to where they will not allow it, period, end of story. But, like, and I was hot, and I wasn't even playing the guy. And so I'm like, why am I letting this? And it's the fact that he said he was just going to throw his last game. So did he actually lose to his last opponent? Or did he throw the game? Did that person earn their 3-0? Or did they just get it? And because the guy said, I'm not going to play. I'm going to concede. I'm going to whatever. And, man, everybody, Dan and Jay and all of them were just like, oh, it's okay, you're upset. They're like, does it affect you? And I'm like, I might. I don't know. I mean, again, I was 6. They took 4. If he's not in it, somebody else gets in there. Maybe I get in it. But it's fine. I didn't make it.
He's had a burr under his saddle the whole time over this thing.
And again, and
I've tried not to poke the bear, but it's almost too impossible not to do it.
I just, like, that tainted an amazing weekend. That was an amazing tournament. I faced 3 awesome people, even if they were all playing Empire. But then again, like, 60% of the field was Empire, so at least I didn't get a clone list round 1 and have the team kill. So, and I played 3 people I've never played. I was wholeheartedly waiting to get paired with Daren round 1.
Yeah, no. So, it was great. I'm glad I got to go up against Dark Troopers. It was a hell of a list.
Yeah.
Kyle
definitely needs people around here need to play that. So
and then, absolutely. And so as soon as he found out I had beams, he spread everybody out. So I wasn't able to. I mean, rarely could I get 2 beams and not 3. Yep. So he played extremely well. He definitely beat my ass. He's a good player.
Yeah, so 24th overall. That's beautiful.
I didn't even look. I didn't want to know, so I didn't look.
I could tell you.
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I won't tell you. I do. So the Wampa guys were up there. Dan was one of them. He went 2-1 as well. Mm-hmm. His 2-1, I think he said that he was like 50th. So his last loss, which was in the last round. Or no, his loss was in the second round. I take that back. That his strength of schedule, it dropped him. He had the same 2-1 record as me, right. But because of where he lost his match, he was double the ranking of that. And he was just like, I don't understand how that happens.
I don't know.
So I got to enjoy then Friday go around. I did not get to get a demo like I wanted to of Shatterpoint because they did have a sign up for it, which was awesome. But like by the time I got to that booth, it was always sold out.
Yeah.
So
they were handing out Shatterpoint things, I think in the beginning of the line or something like that. I don't remember how it exactly went.
Right.
They were already gone when the doors opened for the most part. So we didn't get a Shatterpoint demo. We talked to some people about it that got demos.
And I heard the gambit of it. I heard people say, nah, it's not great. And I heard people say, well, it's actually really cool. And then I heard people say, well, I wish we could have played for more than a half hour because they only got through like 1 turn.
Yeah.
And we went over Dan and Armand and them. Daren almost got to play because one of their guys like wasn't gonna be able to make it, and so he was like, "Hey, we need another guy." Mm-hmm. Daren was gonna go do it, but then the original person could do it.
Yeah.
So we went up and started watching because it was right there, and I'm just like, man, they're explaining movement tools and range sticks, and I'm just like,
it's no wonder they only didn't get much in because they were going through
like you had never played any war games,
right.
Which is how you should do a demo unless everyone there
is a wargamer,
and has played Legion or MCP because you don't need to explain to me what a range rule is. I know what that is. Mm-hmm. You don't need to explain what the movement tool is. Like they were asking about abilities on the cards and the demo person was like, no, okay, we'll get to that. We're not there yet. And so they're just like they were trying to get this to go along more so they could play more. So I mean, again, we'll see. I'm not completely sold, but I don't think it's going to be horrible.
Right.
So then on Sunday,
I went shopping Friday.
Yep. I did that in the morning. In the afternoon, I was playing the BattleTech Grinder. My kids got in that afternoon. My dad took us all because my dad brought my kids up. He took us out for supper. We went back. We did a little more BattleTech Grinder with the boys, and then that's all we did Saturday. Saturday was just we sat at like one table and we were there the whole day.
I played Free Blades. I was in a Free Blades tournaments.
Largest
Saturday.
One they've had.
Yeah, largest Free Blades tournament they had. Yeah, had a really good time. once again, great opponents. I went 2-1-1. We went 2-1-1, so I had a pretty good time. Could have done a little bit better, but I had a pretty good time.
Yeah, and you got 4 rounds in, and you guys were done by like what, 7?
I think 7:30 maybe. Yeah, well, we got 4 rounds in.
Yep.
Had a great
You
time.
made one of your opponents famous. Lenny and his dice roll. 8 seconds of dice roll, and it's got 1,400 views.
Oh, right.
Nice.
Yeah. Did a short for fucking Lenny and his die roll. Yeah. And so just so you all know, I don't know if you know, but you will now. So Lenny, or as we call him, fucking Lenny, is one of our gaming group, and I called him out at the tournament and went up against him in my third game. Yeah.
Was it your third? I don't know when it was.
I think it was my third game, and I smashed him. I crushed him. Yeah, so grudge match. Grudge match last time if he wants it, Lenny, because I crushed him. Yeah.
So then,
Yeah. You can crush your friends. It feels good to crush your
That's
friends.
fine.
Yeah.
So then Sunday comes around. The big event. We're not talking about Worlds.
No.
We're talking about the team tournament.
We're gonna do the thing.
Yes. So what was our list? So we find out. Well, it actually changed. Why? Because there was no email sent. So our team name got changed from "I need a hero" to "There should have been an email." Kendall had a better name. We should have been was a 404 email not found. Because on the Adepticon event it says bring a standard 600 point team list. Okay,
So we did.
that's what we did. We get there, and in the Discord, the Legion Discord, they have pinned the packet. And I was like, why wasn't this sent in an email? And Ryan said he told the Adepticon people to send the email. It was out of he gave them the info, said send it to the people that have signed up. Because they were pretty much using the skirmish org chart, which meant you had 1 commander, 0 to 1 operatives. Well, we had 4 operatives between the 2 of us. So our list immediately was like, well, we can't play. We have an illegal list. Maybe we're going to go Republic now. What can we do with the Republic here for 600 points? And it ended up being that we
cobbled together.
We cobbled together because I had my Wookiees.
Yeah.
And there are Republic Wookiees.
Yeah.
And their card is the same between the 2.
Yeah.
So we just
we cobbled together
slotted
some
Wookiees
shit.
in
Yeah.
and then filled, I think, every upgrade slot we had with either grenades or recon intel.
with the cards that we had.
Yes, with the cards
However,
we had.
Yeah. Now we did have some extra troopers here and there, but we didn't have cards for them.
We didn't. And that's
Because we had
I brought up my covert ops,
same. So
which was
yeah.
the commandos and
And
Wookiee.
I brought up the arcs for that.
So we were
However-
thinking, okay, we don't have any cards for the arcs. Oh, all right. I'm like, well, screw this. I'm like, I'll use my commandos as just extra rebel troopers. They're close enough.
So as I was unpacking, just so you know,
Oh, you had the cards?
as I was unpacking, so I'm unpacking. Well, usually if I'm going to LVO or if you're flying someplace, you don't take everything. You just don't. You don't take everything. Well, I did have the arcs. Well, I also took the cards that I needed to run all kinds of. So I had tons of cards.
Oh.
We could have done all kinds of
could have
different
done all
shit.
sorts.
Yeah, all kinds of different shit. But I didn't realize it because everything was packing and you're shopping and you're throwing
Yeah.
stuff in.
Yep.
Well, they were in another container, kind of in a corner, and I never got that stuff out. And so I went, and as I was unpacking, I was like, "Oh shit, I had the cards." Huh? Oh, well.
It was fine. We'll do the spoiler. We went 1-1 in the team event, but we did the thing twice,
We did the thing.
and it was amazing.
The thing is fun.
So Dan and Armand were the Ninja Turtles,
And they were our first opponent.
and they were our first opponents.
Yes.
So they were running Double Rebel on Double Rebel, and
we
they
did
were
have-
actually borrowing my Wookiees because they didn't have enough Wookiees.
Right, because they forgot a unit.
They forgot
No,
a unit.
Dan forgot
was-
a unit.
Dan
Yes.
forgot a unit because
What do
Dan
you
was
call himself?
the
The art.
he was the art director.
He was the art director. Forgot the unit. I think he
Yes.
was an art director. Yeah,
He was
maybe.
like the art.
Yeah.
Yeah, the art director because he did the costumes.
Yeah. So the art director forgot a unit, and he never read the list.
Right, and so he asked us. He's like, "You guys have
Dan and I could never play in the same team together. We'd be so fucked up.
So first we asked him, I'm like, yeah, we don't have enough command cards though, because we had like 4 operative command cards that are no longer in our things. We didn't have the generics because like our list didn't bring
Well, actually-
ambush, assault, push.
Actually, I did.
You
I
had
just,
we didn't
I just
know.
don't. I
Well,
just
so then,
don't know.
so then Dan's like, well, it was like, do you guys just need like the standard 3-pip? And I was like, well, yeah, that'd be great. He's like, you can have that. Well, then they go through the list. Oh, no, never mind, we need that bad. He's like, oh, and by the way, do you guys have an extra Wookiee squad? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I do. I'm like, hold on, let me go out to my car. Because in my car had the 3rd Wookiee squad that I used in my game.
Yeah.
So I brought him in, let him borrow it, and then we get paired. And we even had joked. I'm like, okay. I'm like, we're going to play Dan and Armand game 1. I'm like, and then we'll play Jay and Ben game 2. Because local Ben Smith and Jay Muth teamed up to do a team event because Ben didn't have a partner. Austin was supposed to come up. I guess Austin didn't come up, and then Jay didn't make it to the finals, and he plays Blizzard for us, so they're like, we'll cobble it together. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. So we played, and it was hilarious because Dan doesn't play Rebel, so Dan is oblivious to what we're doing. And then all of a sudden, like, there's like probably 2 deployments left, and Armand goes, oh, I know what you guys are doing. I know what the thing is. Because he had seen us, he's like, you're really scouting, because I scouted everything forward. I had my vet scouted forward, so what we had was
Tell me
had
about the thing.
Han and Chewie, and then I had a Rebel Trooper, a Veteran, and a Mark II, and an FD cannon, because we had the points for an FD cannon. And Daren had Leia, Operative Luke, and and we each had a Wookiee squad with a bowcaster loaded up. Yeah. And then you had 3 Rebel Troopers with an extra dude, because that's all we had.
Yeah.
And
it's not a killer list.
It's not, but you can do the thing, which is you can play Brains and Brawn, which is Chewie's 2-pip, and have that work with Coordinated Bombardment, which is Leia's 1-pip. Now normally, you're all on the same list, you only get to put 1 command card down. But Chewie's command card pretty much states that anytime Leia performs an attack, if I'm within range 3 and in line of sight, I get to add my attack pool to that. So instead of just having a coordinated bombardment that threw out 2 red every turn, or for 3 shots, it was 4 red, 2 white, with Pierce 1, Surge crit, and then on the first one, there was usually the Mark II fire supporting in with its 5 black. So turn 1, like, we just wiped out a unit of Wookiees, I think, is what it was. Almost.
Almost.
Almost wiped out the unit of Wookiees.
Yeah.
Then I went with my Wookiees, and like we almost wiped out the fleet trooper. And it was horrible. And they were running double bus, and then they showed up with fleets, and then they...
Well, I think did they table us? Or?
They didn't. They started doing the objective.
Oh, right.
No, did we do it first? No, they did it first. They moved to the objective.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, I guess we got to go to the objective.
Yeah, and so...
I lost all my guys.
I think I had Luke left.
You had Luke left and a Wookiee. I think some of your Wookiees were still left. And maybe Leia, because Leia was out hiding...
Oh, did they kill her? Yeah, I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
Because it was great because he's like, okay. I'm like, just put down the range 3 stick and make sure you're not touching anybody. Because if you're beyond range 3, you're at range 4. And the second he did that, he was like, Armand was like, I know what the thing is. And Dan is oblivious. And so then they tried using the thing to stop it.
Yeah.
So they do 2 1-pips. And they needed to pull their bus.
So it can block.
So it can move and then block line of sight.
Yeah.
And they pulled their support.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we could do the thing.
We got to do the thing.
Yeah.
But we lost. But we had an amazing time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was
I called Ryan over for this. I'm like, Dan, just act like you're really upset and like this is bullshit. He's like, because I'm like, you play Republic, so you don't know about this stuff. And so Ryan came over. He's like, yep, it's legal. I know exactly what they're doing. I'm like, and we can fire support on one of them, right? He's like, yep, yes, you can. So we get done. And we got done a little early.
The couple next to us, they were standing right next to us.
Right, so, and what was nice was in the team event, so you had 1 table, and then there would be space on either side, and then the next, so you could have space, you can go out. Yeah. Well, so the next 2 tables over was Brendan and Stephanie, who we played last year in the second game, and they had their awesome Droid Invasion AAT list. They were great.
Yeah, awesome.
And so they got done with their game.
And I called them out.
They lost.
Just jokingly.
Right. Well, we asked them if they won or lost, and they said, "Oh, we lost. We got beat on points or whatever it was."
So I jokingly called them out. It's us.
I was like, "Yep, it's us." And so we're sitting there enjoying lunch, going, and I swipe, and they've got it, and sure enough, we are playing them.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my, and I am hoarse. I'm still getting over it, but I'm like, I'm trying to let them know, like, oh my God, we're playing you guys. We're doing it again. And so they had like a double ATST, Veers, Vader.
So we'll
yes.
download some pictures of that and of.
Oh my! I only took
Dan.
like 3 pictures. The entire
yeah.
Chris or
I got pictures.
Rich is
of his
gonna
army.
just
Yeah.
kill me.
Yeah, I got pictures of their army. So they swapped.
Oh, they
Lego
won
heads.
best theme.
Yeah, because they swapped Lego heads, right? It was Lego heads.
It was Lego heads that they then like
swapped on all of the
hit the.
stormtroopers.
They sanded it down and made them look like marshmallow heads.
Yeah,
It was hilarious.
Yep, it was fantastic.
And so we got to do, and we freaked out Stephanie because we said, "Oh, we're just trying to do the thing," and she didn't know what the thing was, and Brendan didn't know what the thing was, and we couldn't do the thing right away because we weren't close enough, so we had to wait to do the
because
thing.
it's kind of a long march.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, and there was just that second one had too many extra. I told Ryan too many extra things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were all cool, flipping objective tokens, having bombs drop down from orbit. Just maybe split those up so they're not in the same game. But we got to do the thing with them again. And it was kind of funny because they actually moved Vader to where we couldn't do the thing on Vader.
Right.
And hit him. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess we'll just wipe out 3 Stormtrooper squads. And that's pretty much what we wiped one out.
And
then
we did some damage to
did some damage to the other two.
Yeah.
And that came down to the final turn. If I could roll off the 2 suppression on my end, they hit the one squad with their mortar, so it was suppressive. So instead of, I'd have to roll both of them off.
And you couldn't.
Because I had to move and get it, and we were just out of range of Leia's Inspire. So it ended up going to kill points, and we won by like 50, I
I
think.
thought it was less than that. I thought it was like 30.
It was really close. We killed 2 Stormtrooper squads, and all they killed of ours was a Wookiee squad in the Mark II. Everything else at the end is just hiding. And it was hilarious. It's like, okay, you can move here. I'm like, well, you can only see 2 of my guys, so you can't wipe the squad. I'll lose those. That's fine. We don't care. And they're like, well, wait. And like, we had 4 guys left on this bomb. So the bomb blows up. It kills 3. I still have 1. It doesn't wipe the squad. They had 4 guys left on that over there. So the bomb blows up. It only kills 3 of them. It can't kill all 4. So it was an amazingly fun way to end the tournament.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a really good time.
Highly recommend if you're going to be at Adepticon, bring an army for the team event. It is great.
However, you want to go to the Discord and
I guess
and look at the
stuff there.
Look at the stuff.
I mean, because that could have changed. I mean, that would have totally changed our list then, because our original list dropped the Wookiees. We dropped a whole bunch of upgrades and extra stuff, and we added in Din and Sabine because we were going to have Han. I was going to have Han, Sabine, Chewie. And Daren was going to have Leia, Luke, and Din. And so we were just going to hero hammer it up. And it was going to be stupid funny. But maybe next year. Of course.
That is the first time I've used Operative Luke. I'd never used Operative Luke before that game.
Really?
Yeah, I've used Commander Luke, but I'd never used Operative Luke. Yeah.
In hindsight, you should have used Son of Skywalker when I did Common Cause. So you could have swung twice to kill that last unit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We weren't thinking. We only went 3 rounds because again, it's a team event, so it takes a while. And then there was a whole bunch of extra stuff you had to do. So that added to it.
And it's not you're not as used to it because you're reading all kinds of extra rules and stuff.
Which is fine. Again, it's a team event, so
it doesn't matter.
You're only getting 2. You're only getting 2 games, so there's going to be a ton of 2-0s. Everybody walked away with something. Like each team, they just went through randomly and said, "Okay, come up and you're getting this." And it was just so they had a box. You're getting this. Next guy, you're getting this.
Highly recommend it. And Ryan does a great job. Running the thing.
Yep.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
And then let's see this. We
they had theme event.
They had theme.
So your army theme, and then they had sportsmanship or spirit award.
Yeah, spirit.
And the Wampa Squadron guys, Dan and Armand, won again.
Yes.
So next year, I guess we got to come for them.
Is that where
Right, because I'm going to dress up like an Ewok because they're going to be released, and you're going to be Han Solo.
I'm
going to walk around.
Han or a Wookiee?
Well, I figured you weren't tall enough for a Wookiee.
Well, you're not short enough to be a.
Well, I can walk around on my knees. It's fine.
we could do almost.
Right.
Almost Wookiee, almost
Ewok.
Yeah.
I just walk around with a yardstick and like get a little like foam spear point, go yub nub the whole time.
Yeah,
You guys will have to see if Steven still has any of his Star Wars stuff.
It's still not tall enough to be a Wookiee, but whatever.
But whatever.
Yeah.
But no, so they did spoil a ton of stuff at their.
While we were there at the
during the lunch break of the team event, they spoiled. Like
was it then or was it the day before?
No, it was Sunday. It was that day.
Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, because we were eating lunch and
Yep,
it was
and
hard
it was
to-
like they
yeah.
were. We were getting updates from like Kendall, and because Brendan was going to. So we got
Brendan was
Brendan
there.
from the Inglorious Blasters.
Yep,
podcast.
really cool dude. Yeah, he was there front row, I think, recording some
Yep.
of that stuff.
So check them out on any podcast
Yeah,
thing, whatever.
yeah,
Just
absolutely.
they're good, they're cool. They actually knew me because I'm one of the only people that have written an email in to them, several, and all of them are different lists and that they've talked about.
Yeah.
So that it was really good to meet him in person.
Yeah.
He's really cool, and yeah. So they were sending us pictures and whatnot. So they spoiled Ahsoka's card, which is kind of meh, but she does have the same mastery that Asajj has, so she can spend dodges to make her attack dice better. But she's got Obi-Wan's lightsaber, so it's double rainbow. But I do believe she surge crits.
Yeah, and I would think you would go 2 attacks with her with dueling with double lightsaber.
Right. Well, maybe that'll be for Republic Ahsoka. She'll
I
get
don't know,
2
I don't know.
attacks.
I don't know.
But she gets like defend 1, so she, as long as you give her an order, she's getting a dodge token.
Yeah.
I think you almost then just staple the force training thing to where you can only take dodges, and when they take a dodge action, they get 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't get to see her command cards. She has 160 points, I believe, and she's an operative. So I mean, it seems like it's okay. She's got jump 2, kind of like Asajj. So we'll see. I'm excited for her. They showed the Ewok command cards. They showed Wicket, and they showed. Go ahead, Daren.
I called it before when they were talking about it. I said, all right, there's going to be a C-3PO command card. And they're like, nah. I said, yep.
It's not just a command card, it's a
commander.
unit. Yep.
Yeah, the
Commander
C-3PO is going to command her. So he is. He is a commander.
He's there.
I
They
called
showed the back of the Chewie ATST card and the back of Logre's card, which is an upgrade or another unit operative.
it. And that's where we got Cody's pips, right? That's
No,
where-
that was spoiled before.
That was spoiled before?
Yep,
All right.
they did his article.
Okay.
Cody's article was gone. But then they've got 4 different command cards. They've got one that like gives Pierce. I think it's like 3 red, 1 black, and gives him Pierce on any unit that's beyond range 2 of a trapper unit or something. It's supposed to simulate the logs coming in and killing the ATSD. Gives it like impact 3, Pierce 1. But it's a Pierce 1 shot that you can throw at anybody.
Yeah.
They've got one where you can give Guardian to all of the Ewoks. The Ewoks are an actual officially confirmed mercenary unit for the Rebels. So the Rebels will be able to include them normally, as well as them taking the battle force. Let's see, they then spoiled that we are getting Inquisitors are coming.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, I believe, that you'll be able to take both of them as an operative. Like, it'll be a unit of 2 or a counterpart sort of a thing. They spoiled Geonosians are coming.
Yes, sir.
And after that, they said that there would be a battle force to go along with that. Not at the same time. Everybody is just making the assumption Gungans are next. That'll be the next battle force because Republic doesn't have a second battle force. So that's what the rumors are, is that
Right.
when the Geonosians come out, then the Gungans will be the second battle force for the Republic. I know Daren is happy, and then we'll have Ewok and Gungan battles till the lights go out, I guess.
Right. And then Bad Batch, right?
And then Bad Batch.
Okay, I don't know about you. I don't know about everybody else. I'm not thrilled about the whole Bad Batch thing.
The models look great. I mean, the minis look good. They showed them. They've got all of the Bad Batch in Omega. It's a dual faction release that can be in Republic or Rebels. And the rumors going around is that you'll be able to take Crosshair in the Republic and only the Republic. And you'll be able to take Omega only in the Rebels. Because she never fought for the Republic until they did their little after Order 66 and she stows away with them. And Crosshair was part of the Republic, and so he'll be the unit upgrade, the personnel upgrade for the Republic, and Omega will be the unit personnel upgrade for the Rebellion.
I'm not crazy about it. And they're special forces, right? Is that what they were?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
I don't. Yeah.
I'm just pissed it's not Commandos because I want Republic Commandos. They did a whole slew of stuff for Shatterpoint, like their whole first wave, and that stuff is going to come fast and furious.
Yeah.
But then the coolest thing, I know we've been talking for a long time.
The coolest thing.
The coolest thing,
Probably should throw a couple up.
right? If they've lasted this long.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing is they have confirmed store kits are coming back for Legion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they showed them. They are coming. I guess they have talked about it. Legion 99 podcast, Nick and Keegan were talking, and I guess they actually listened and watched the actual live streaming in person of it. And they said that their understanding was the store kits will, as you have more people in your tournament, they get bigger, which is cool because you have more people. They also said that for every full 16 people you have in your tournament, you'll get a Worlds invite. So that's kind of cool. That if you can get to a 16 or 20 man or 24 man, there's at least going to be one Worlds invite. They made no mention of, which right now we don't have to worry about it. Worlds just happened. Nobody has an invite, so everybody can. You don't know if you have to burn the invites, if it's only the ones, or if they would drop down. No idea. But that is kind of cool because in October, we're going to have our third annual 3 Foot Good QC Fall Brawl.
3 Foot Good.
Now, we'll have a link to it, but we already have a wait list. We have 24. We've got 12 tables. We're trying to get a 13th table. We think we can fit at least that in to make it 26. But we already have a wait list.
Which is way cool.
Almost everybody is returning from last year. So that's cool. The ones that actually aren't returning are the ones that are on the wait list. So, we're gonna do it again in October. We're looking forward to it. Everybody's looking forward to it. All the Wampa guys are coming down. They're bringing more of them because they had such a fun time. They're bringing their friends. We're changing the format to where we're going to start a little earlier. We are not doing a lunch break, and we're going to do 4 rounds. Now, because of that, we are also going to be providing pizza. So it's a $25 cash day of, and we're going to order pizzas so you guys can eat as you see fit. Definitely going to try and get one of these store kits. We should be good because it's October.
Yeah, it's October, so we should be able
to get one. But yeah, so the 3 Foot Good Fall Brawl is coming back for the 3rd annual, and we'll do more Sweet Caroline. Yeah. So we'll post more, talk about more if we get more spots or if people start dropping and they can't make it because again, we created this event 2 months ago, and I intentionally just told everybody that was there before because we wanted to give everybody the people that were there.
If you're supporting us, we want to make sure that if you've supported us before, you get the chance to the first shot at getting back into it again.
6 days. We filled the tournament in 6 days.
Yeah.
On day 7, I had people asking if there was a wait list. Darren tried signing up. After it was full, he could still sign up. I couldn't. It's just in my little thing to approve him. But then 2 of the guys that were there last year also signed up. They came in as they signed up, so it keeps it in order. So as tables or as people drop become available, we'll just go down.
Game Uplink, hats off to Game Uplink. Doing a great job.
They released a demo or a beta version of a non-Legion, just a standard. Hey, try it. They had a booth at Adepticon actually, and was like, hey, if you have a game that you want us to, I guess Keegan was there the second day.
Okay.
But yeah, Jane and his wife were there the first day because Keegan couldn't make it to Worlds because he had his plane late or something. Right. So they actually now have one that's a generic. Hey, you just whatever tournament you're running, you can go ahead and use this software now. Does it have all the cool bells and whistles if you want to run X-Wing? No, but if you're looking to run a bolt action or a free blades or anything like that, it can do win-loss. So that can help.
Yeah.
But that's it. I've talked for way too long. I can feel it in my throat.
You've kind of rambled a little bit.
I did. Well, I got on
You talked about the 3 Foot Good thing. I didn't know that we were going to go there, but that's all right.
Well,
hey, you just throw it out there.
Boom, throw it out there.
Just throw it out there. Kind of like, you're improvising.
Yes.
Improvising.
I'm still on my rebel.
Kind of like jazz musicians.
I'm kind of still on my rebel thing. We just go whatever works. We're going with it.
Kind of like jazz musicians.
But hey, I kind of it was a nice segue from the store kits. To our tournament.
The cool thing is if they say if you don't like big crowds, be a jazz musician.
Well, on that note,
stop watching us.
Go roll some dice.